at least within town. But let's cross over now to Kamukunji Grounds. That was one of the 3 meeting points that had been set out by the anti-government protest organizers. Police have been keeping protesters at bay from accessing that particular location. But Ayub, what updates can you give us now?
Afternoon, Vicky, from the Kamukunji Grounds, and since morning the security officials have managed to keep off the protesters from meeting in the venue behind me, which of course in many aspects holds significant chapter in Kenya's political history. And as you have mentioned, it was one of the areas that the coalition political party had yesterday mentioned as the meeting point, or one of the meeting points for their supporters to meet and press the government on some of the issues that they have outlined, including the high cost of living, which they said the government has been unable to address, saying that that inaction is what has prompted the series of anti-government protests. And today, the day one of the 3-day anti-government protests as per the plan of the opposition, set to continue tomorrow on Thursday and Friday. And as you can see inside the venue is where a police lorry is still staged since morning, which had a number of anti-riot police who disembarked at some point following stones that were hurled at their direction, and until now have managed to keep off the demonstrators from accessing that venue. So where we are standing at the moment is the intersection of the road that links many parts of the areas here in the constituency of Kamukunji. As you can see, on my right is the road that heads or links up to 3 very important business areas, that is in Gikomba, in Pumwani and in Isli. And you can imagine the amount of impact the keeping of the roads by many motorists have had on businesses there, and many people who depend on the businesses in these areas for their day-to-day activities, including the big Gikomba market and also in Isli. The road appears at the moment, as you can see on your screens, to be deserted. This, in a normal day, is a road that is so busy with traffic because of snarl-ups and the number of vehicles that access this road heading to Pumwani, Isli and in Gikomba. But because of the fears over the protest and normally the uncertainties that normally accompany this, as you can see, it's deserted. No vehicles, only police officers and the area residents who are here to witness what's happening at the moment here, because they are usually normally waking up to a busy area where you have a number of business persons who ply this route. And on this end is the road that links the Juakali and then to Jogoo Road, and then behind our vehicle where my camera person Gitonga is standing is the one that links Shauri Moyo and the larger areas of the Makadara and the areas that are on the other part of Jogoo Road, and the imagining aspect of the impact this has had on businesses, as you can see, and the areas that are normally known for being business hubs here in the country. What you're seeing at the moment is also the panning out of the road that this morning had been the point of standoff between police and protesters at some point, who had lit tires on the road as a sign of the displeasure that they say they are expressing towards the government, seeking an address of the high cost of living in the country. And earlier on in the morning, we managed to catch up with some of them who told us that this is not about the main call by the opposition to come out and protest against the government. They say this is a call that doesn't have any, or rather connotations of tribal affiliations or tribal belongings or political party affiliations. Rather, what they said were the common problems that affect the Kenyan people, and police is still keeping guard to ensure that the supporters do not access the venue. That is the Kamukunji Grounds historically, which is now on my right end of the camera shot as you are seeing at the moment on your screens. Therefore, this, Vicky, being one of the meeting points that the opposition listed yesterday in the press conference, apparently appears to be deserted, with police overwhelming priority remaining here since morning when we spoke to the commander of the unit that is here to keep off the protesters from accessing the venue. And they have been keeping a guard of this entire area and the intersection of the road that interlinks many different areas here, as you can see, making rounds between the road that heads to Pumwani, Gikomba, Isli, and the one that links Shauri Moyo and the other parts of Kamukunji constituency, and still sounds of tear gas and gunfire renting the air here, and police dispersing seismic number of protesters who are hiding themselves around the areas that are here in Kamukunji, and to just ensure that they cordon off the area and deny access to the supporters who are willing to access here any other time of the day. And since morning we have been here to keep an eye on this important venue, which bears significance in terms of the political history of the country, and which was cited by the opposition, wanting to be its launchpad for protesters to gather first here and then proceed or march to the other parts of the city as a sign of displeasure in what they say is the government's inaction to address what they have listed as the pressing public problems that they have said that the government is not showing any appetite to resolve at the moment. And that's what's happening here, Vicky, and more, of course, developments as we continue to monitor the situation here at the Kamukunji Grounds.
Many thanks, Ayub Abdikadir, from the Kamukunji Grounds, one of the 3